Hi, everybody. I'm Super Julie Braun. You know me as SJ. Please call me that. It's a lot easier to live up to SJ than it is Super Julie. That's like, has a lot of pressure. I'm the founder of Super Purposes, and I'm super excited because I'm here today with our friend David. David, why don't you do a quick introduction? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Where are you right now, and what's going on in your world? COVID-19 time. Let's put a little context around this.
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is David Bruce. I live in New York City. I am in the epicenter of Manhattan, right by, walking distance to Times Square, Central Park. If I were to look out my window on a normal day, it would be stop traffic, tons of people on the street. If you look out the window now, it's a ghost town. So COVID-19 has hit New York City pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry to hear that, but in all of this COVID madness, we started to work together.
Yes.
And you've been kind of in your career, you were in finance and banking, and then you went back to school because you're a creative human being.
Yes, I am.
And you want to be a screenwriter, and all this stuff kind of has come to your mind, and then we met.
Yes.
And things started to change. So I want to take our first question because I think everybody here is dying to know, David, how have you gotten so fast to your career? And everybody vote on your favorite questions, by the way. Right there down below, it says ask a question. Vote on your favorite question, or if you have a question you want us to answer, we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the number one question was 7 weeks ago, what were you doing for your career?
That is such a good question. What was I doing? I was doing the very basic, let me look at a company online, let me send in my resume, let me send in a cover letter, and email it directly, and then, look at my phone every day and I'm going, why am I not hearing anything?
So frustrating.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And kind of defeating, too. David,
Yeah.
you were not different from a lot of people this way. Everyone has the feelings you've had. So we can all relate.
Yeah.
And sometimes the longer that things start going, you start thinking, this is never going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happened? I think we're done answering that question because now we know what you were doing 7 weeks ago.
I was doing the basic applying online.
Yeah. But now I'm wondering, what was the biggest fear that you've had and you've overcome in your career journey? And maybe you should fill everybody in a little bit about who you've been meeting with, what companies, what you're up to right now. I think everyone would love to hear that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can kind of answer the first question. My biggest fear has been networking. And I don't know why, I guess naturally I am a pretty social people person. I guess a big hurdle for me personally is I've never liked to sell myself. I'm not really like a salesman per se. So I have this like fear and anxiety of being inauthentic when like I would rather just like, I love making friends and meeting people and just being like having it be organic. So networking has just been a huge anxiety of mine.
Which is so ironic because you interview people for a living.
Right. Yeah, and just to give like a little bit of background, I do have a banking background and I went back to school. I went to NYU, got my degree in creative writing and literature. And for the past year and a half or so, I've been doing film journalism. So I've been doing major press releases and interviewing cast and crew for movies and writing up pieces about it.
And people could fall in love with that because they would think, oh, wow, that sounds like an amazing job.
Right.
But you and I know that that's a hustle.
It's a hustle. Absolutely. And the no other industry, the film industry and television industry has been hit very hard by COVID-19. Release, films that were supposed to come out next month are coming out maybe next year, and it's been hit pretty hard.
So what have you overcome during this career journey? That was the second half of the question.
Yeah.
Because remarkable things have happened for you.
I've overcome my anxiety of networking, and especially after working with you, SJ, I can't thank you enough. I mean, I've gotten on LinkedIn and just started to connect. I started to connect with people from my top 3 companies. I've been looking at HBO, Netflix, ABC, and I've just been connecting and reaching out and writing letters to people that I connect with that accept my invitation. And I've been trying to get either phone conversations or face-to-face conversations via FaceTime or Zoom. And I've gotten over my anxiety of networking and just been like, you know what, just be myself. Like this is just a conversation. It's just what is your name? How are you doing during COVID-19? How did you get to where you are today? Just tell me your story.
Yeah.
And then, it's like reciprocated. Like I tell my story. And it's been incredible so far. It has been absolutely amazing. I have had an incredible connection at ABC who works for 2020 and does a series of documentary for their news network. And I've kind of been just like thrown in the middle of producing a documentary feature for ABC 2020, which is
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually put the trailer on the front end of this this show, this webinar, so people could watch the COVID hustle.
Oh, that's great.
So for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's in here.
Yeah.
And it's actually on the front page, should be on the front page, COVID hustle. Corona Hustle, excuse me. Corona Hustle.
Corona Hustle.
Click on that. Watch it. Watch the trailer. Not right in this moment, please, because it might mess our technology.
Bring this down.
Sure.
Yeah.
It might slow down all of the gerbils and hamsters that are on the wheels right now, keeping everything moving. But it's an awesome trailer, and it's an awesome idea, and it's fantastic that you hooked up with the guy who is putting all this together. Right. And that came through one LinkedIn connection.
One LinkedIn connection and one phone call. Wow. I mean, on top of that, I've actually had amazing conversations with other people at Netflix and HBO that we're still in contact. We're still keeping touch like every couple of days, writing to each other. It's really incredible. I think there's something about like being in quarantine for all of us that it's a different way of connecting. And so far I've, just getting past that fear of anxiety of networking is huge.
And this really is a shared experience that we're all having separately.
Yeah.
At a social distance, but we are all experiencing this. So that's like the connecting thread that every person who's here right now that's saying, well, I don't know what I would talk to a vice president of Netflix. Well, you would start with, tell me about your COVID-19 experience. Yeah. And everyone has one.
Yeah, so, we all have one. Yeah.
That's a very hot tip.
It's the time to do it. Really, it's the icebreaker. It's really the
hot tip that you just gave everybody.
Tell me about your experience during quarantine. What has it been like for you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's really a great opener.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, we're done answering that question. Yes. And so I want to say over here, look, Kat's here, Emmy's here, Mark is here. All these people are here. Chance is here. Awesome, Chance. Chance said, relatable networking makes me anxious. Well, Chance, you're not alone.
You're not alone. Definitely not.
But I always go back to, it doesn't make me anxious because I've been doing it for a long time. But I always just think they're just people.
Yeah.
And if I can talk to somebody in the grocery store
Mm-hmm.
right? If I can carry on a
Right.
conversation with a perfect stranger, like, "Oh, is that spice good?" when they pick up something.
Right.
I always comment on people's baskets, like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, that looks good,"
Yeah.
whatever it is, and they'll go, "Oh, it really is. Have you ever had it?" I mean, you start off the conversation with the most
Yeah.
mundane things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and then Cindy said, I agree, networking can be scary because you truly do get anxious by thinking, will people connect with me?
Correct.
I love you, Cindy, because Cindy, here's what bubbles up for me. If they don't immediately fall in love with you,
Hmm.
then they just don't get it. And that's on them.
Hmm.
So actually, I kind of like it when people immediately are repelled by me because then I'm not going to waste any time on them.
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
going to be like, okay, we're not a fit. That's okay. Bye bye. Love you.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Go away now. Go away. All right. And Gianna said that's such great advice for networking. Thank you, Gianna, for your comments, everybody. Okay, let's look at the poll. I'm
Yes.
very interested in reading this poll.
Okay. Let's take a
So do you
look.
want to read the question that we asked, David?
So let's see. It says, what is stopping you from having the career you deserve? It's a very, very good question.
Everybody, if you haven't taken this poll, we want you to take the poll because you might
Yeah.
change our numbers. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
We
this was a
looks,
hard one. Yeah.
looks like we've got a tie though. Right now, we've got a tie.
We do. Yeah. I don't know where to start, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do and when to do it.
Those are kind of sort of the same family.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. What's your advice? What's your advice?
Well,
Because you've just been through this experience and you're not even done yet, David, which is
yeah.
what makes me
I,
so
I'm
excited.
still I'm still on the road. Yeah. It's
Yeah, you're on week
I'm,
7, week 6, week 7 of our
yes.
program, and there's 12 weeks.
Well,
So
these are very good questions. I don't know where to start is interesting because, I didn't know. I mean, I knew that, applying online was not going anywhere. I wasn't hearing anything. Um, so, a big avenue to go to is networking, is, making connections, connecting with people. And I don't know where to start. I have to say, LinkedIn is the hugest asset. I mean, connecting with people on LinkedIn is better than sending anyone your resume, applying to any job online, because LinkedIn is basically, you have your resumes on there, your work history, where you've gone to school, what you're good at. But connecting with people on social media like LinkedIn is, making a new friend and just taking that very simple step of writing them a message, to saying, hello, thank you for connecting to me. I want to get to know you. Do you have a minute to chat? That just goes such a long way.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what I'm supposed to do and when to do it. I'm still learning this. Um, but what I've
Because there
learned
is a
is
recipe.
there is a
There is a
recipe, it's
recipe.
call to action.
Yeah.
And this is just like further advice, or when you're connecting with people, when you're writing messages on LinkedIn, always have what do you want? When do you want it? And I'm still learning this. I'm getting a lot better, but instead of just writing a message just saying, hey, it would be great to talk to you, and leaving the ball in their court, why not say, hey, I'm so excited to talk to you. How's tomorrow between 2 to 5 Eastern Standard Time? How is Thursday? How is Friday? Making a date, a time, here's my cell phone number, let's connect. Just making it,
Yeah.
you're the driver. That's what I'm learning. It's not going to be them driving the conversation. You have to be the driver and say, I'm excited to talk to you. This is when I want to talk to you. Let's make this happen.
Because David, nobody cares about your career
Right.
more than you.
Absolutely.
Although maybe me, because I care a lot about your career.
Yes, you do. You do. And I appreciate that.
But everyone, just remember that.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody else drive your career. You are the driver. I love
Yeah.
that analogy. Well, let's
Yeah.
jump on into another question. And
Sure.
Natalie is saying something before we go. Can you read that? Because for some reason, I'm
Oh, sure.
getting all blurry-eyed.
Let's see.
It's
It
my
says, I agree.
glasses.
LinkedIn is such an amazing platform to connect and network. I was so intimidated by LinkedIn, and after 1 week at SP, I feel so much more confident using it.
Oh,
Absolutely. And
that's really cool.
I relate. I mean, I've had LinkedIn for 5 years, and I don't know why it intimidated me before.
I
And
think
now
it's maybe the unknown.
it's the unknown. It's the unknown. But once you get past that, and the more you practice, I can't even tell you. Like my very first phone conversation with a stranger off of LinkedIn, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. Where I'm at now, just like the more conversations I have, the more people I talk to. Now it's just like natural. It's just so I don't
Right.
even think about it.
It's practicing.
Yeah.
It's working out in the gym. If you want a six-pack,
Yes. Yeah.
or as I like to say, a 12-pack. I don't know why I say 12-pack, but if you want to have a six-pack, you have to do a
Right.
lot of sit-ups.
You have to do a lot.
So if you want to have an amazing career, you got to practice a lot by talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That takes us to our next question. This got a lot of votes. It's by one of our partners and teammates, Tiffany.
Yes.
And Tiffany asked the question, how did you come across the right people that ended up hiring you? So I think she's really talking about David.
Mm-hmm. David, yeah.
The other David.
That's a very good question. Well,
How
I
do you come
reached out
across the right people?
the right people. I mean, it's a very good question. I mean, in my case, I talked and connected to many different people. There was
How
some
many
people
would you say? Give everyone a number, because I think
I would
some
say a
people think,
dozen. No,
I'm going to reach out to one person.
no. Well, I've connected with hundreds.
Hundreds, maybe
I've
even thousands by
maybe
now.
even thousands. Yeah, I think that my LinkedIn number of connections is up to like 1,300 maybe.
Yeah.
And I've sent out hundreds of messages, and I've out of those like quality, phone calls, face-to-face call, are in the 20s, 30s. So
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a numbers game, everybody.
It's a
So
numbers
think
game.
about
Yeah.
if you reach out to 100 people. So let's say, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to do 100. And out of that, you get 2 people who respond back in a positive way.
Yeah.
You have a 2%
Mm-hmm.
conversion. That's taking from totally don't know you, connected with you, still don't know you, to, okay, yeah, let's have a meeting. You only need 1 or 2 of these people.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you have to go through 100 or 200 or 1,000
Totally.
to get your numbers. And I think one of the barriers that many people have, and David, I think you may have even had this in the beginning, but you're totally over it, is, well, does that mean that they don't like me?
Right.
And really, they don't even know you.
Totally.
You're just a piece of, you're just,
Totally.
you're a digital picture. You're a digital writing. They don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But when you meet somebody like this, when you meet somebody on camera and they get heart or star eyes, they're like, oh my gosh, I love this person. Now they know you.
Yeah.
And now you're dealing with a human being, and it's a totally different thing. Now, if somebody, rejects me, then so here's my safety zone. I always go, well, they're stupid. What idiots. Like, they have no idea what I can do for them in their career. What a bunch of dummies.
Yeah.
That's where I go. That's my safety, right? That's my armor that I wear. But different people will think different things. So everybody, think more about the people and getting into a meeting and just getting to know them.
Yeah.
So coming
Absolutely.
across the right people, you targeted though 3 particular companies.
I did.
That was one of your inside secrets.
Yes.
And
That
how
was
did you go
huge.
about doing that?
I mean, it really just started from the ground up. It was my top three companies, HBO, Netflix, ABC, and then just going through LinkedIn and pressing connect, 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 connect. I mean, I really just made a habit out of it. It was like, every morning I'm going to wake up, make my coffee, have some breakfast, connect, connect, connect.
And you don't even look at the position they have, right?
No,
You're just
no.
like, I
I'm
don't
just
care if
connecting.
you're at the company. I don't
Yeah.
care if you're a maintenance person.
No,
I don't
no.
care if you clean the toilets. I
Right.
don't care if you're the CEO. You just
Yeah.
connect with everybody.
With everybody. Yep. And whoever
Very smart
accepts my
strategy.
invitation back, I write them just a short message introducing myself, asking if we could chat on the phone.
Yeah.
And, just like you said, I don't know why I had anxiety of even sending that out before when I'm like, this is it's just a message on their inbox. They either look at it or they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know who I am. It has nothing to do with me.
So
But
awesome, David.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead. You were going to finish your thought. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's okay. No, it's just it's just a numbers game. And then out of those, come the quality conversations. And I was lucky enough to find David at ABC, who happens to be working on a project during COVID-19. And because of that, he's able to do it from home and do it via Zoom and Avid and other platforms where he doesn't go into the studio anymore. So I've been luckily been able to work on this project remotely, which I don't know if that would have been a possibility before without going in person, but it's incredible.
It's a silver lining
It's
here.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're done answering that question.
Yes.
We got a question over here. Church, thank you for what you said. I love that you said nobody loves your career more than you, with the exception of SJ. You are very funny. Very cute. Kat wrote a good question. Kat, I hope you get that question into our questions so then we can answer it. People can vote on it because we're only going to take the top ones that get voted. So put it into the questions. And then Cherish also has a question. Cherish, get your question into the questions. Everybody. Okay, she's adding it now. All right, so let's answer the next question, which is, what did you do that's remarkably different from the past to get your career moving in the right direction? There's a lot of things, but
There's a lot of things. Well, mainly just connecting. Mainly connecting. Having quality face-to-face interactions. I mean, I say face-to-face, via Zoom.
Yeah.
But face-to-face quality interactions, and it really just starts with getting to know people. It's that simple. It's like going to a dinner party, going to like any party where you meet, a friend of a friend, or you meet a stranger. It's really just, people love to talk about themselves and their experience. And I love asking people that question. Tell me about where you got to where you are today. And people love to tell you, oh my gosh, like I did this, I did that. I went to school here, and then I moved to New York City, or I moved to LA. And, everyone has a story, and it's really just learning people's story.
I think one of the things, I love your answer. But the thing that bubbles up for me that has been most remarkable is you have now become the shepherd. And you're kind of shepherding all your sheep.
Yeah.
You're the one, like, you have this one connection over at HBO.
Yes.
I'm not going to use her name, but she's a little stinker because, she doesn't answer her messages. She takes forever.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, la, la, la. And you're starting to get to the place of what I love seeing this transformation.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of the Hulk action starts happening where you're starting to go like, why is it taking so long? I can feel you starting to get like green and really huge and ripping through your shirt.
Right.
Call me crazy. Maybe that's just a little
No, that's accurate. That's accurate.
but now you're like, okay, next time I speak with her,
Yes.
I'm going to tell her what to do,
Yes.
when to do it,
Yeah.
why we're doing this,
Correct.
what my expectations are. You are assertive, David.
Absolutely. And that's a huge lesson I've learned. Thank you for bringing that up. I think that, along with my anxiety of networking, I've had anxiety of being what I used to call aggressive, because aggressive is kind of a scary word, but it is assertive is totally different, because there's a way you can be assertive where you can be in the driver's seat and say, this is what I want and when I want it. And you can do it in a nice way, in a natural, organic way. But, the way that I was networking and connecting before, I would be very much where, oh, whenever you have time, I really appreciate it. Thank you. This is what I want. And take your time, and now I'm just like, well, no, like, I just need to be more assertive of, it's great connecting with you, but listen, this is what I want. Could we do this tomorrow? Here's my cell phone number. Let's make this happen.
It's more like a business person.
Yes.
You're in the mindset of really great leaders.
Yes.
Because really great leaders, directors, producers, people that are in the entertainment industry, they're deal makers. Like, they're not sitting around waiting
Right.
for the opportunities to come to them.
Right.
They're going out there making them happen.
Absolutely.
And they're happening on their time.
Yeah.
So really fantastic. Okay, we're done answering that question.
Okay.
We're almost at a half an hour.
Oh, we are. Yes.
Yeah, I said it was going to be 20 minutes, but we've got a couple more questions. I don't know. Let's ask our audience.
Sure.
Do you guys want us to stick around and do a few more questions? If you do, chime in with a yes. Say yes. Oh, we got a yes and a yes, please.
We have some yeses.
Oh, thank you, Batul. All right, look at that. I guess we're going to have to do a yes.
Okay.
All right, let's take another question.
Sure.
All right. How did you first approach your connections? This is a good one. Let's answer that question. How did you first approach your connections?
How did I first? Well, I identified my top 3 companies, and I would, let's say HBO, type in HBO, look at the LinkedIn employees that work there, and just start connect. Whenever somebody would accept my invitation, I would write them just a very brief introductory message, just saying, hello. I can tell you exactly what I said. I said, I'm taking a long view to my PR career. I would love to chat with you over the phone or via Zoom. Here's my phone number. Let me know what works best for you. I'm available tomorrow. Let's say, tomorrow, next day, between 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, what works best for you? So just like, yeah.
I was just going to say, what I love about what you just did? I'm so proud of you. You actually did not give them, everybody, don't give people a yes or no question. So don't say, would you like to meet with me? Because they might say no.
Right.
Instead, I'm available Thursday or Friday between 1 and 3. What works for you? See, that's not directing them to a yes or a no. It's directing them to a choice of Thursday or Friday between this time or that time. Which one do you choose?
Yes.
Totally different thinking. You don't ever ask people yes or no questions.
Yeah.
You don't know that. And David, where did you learn that? I think you may have already known that.
Where did I learn that? Well, you definitely refreshed my brain.
Okay. All right. We're done answering that question. That was a good one, Kat. Look at Kat. Kat's getting lots of votes. The next question is, how did you transition from connection to job offer? So how did that transition happen? That happened with David.
With David,
Corona Hustle.
It was my willingness. He started to explain the project that he was interested in doing to produce for ABC 2020, and I told him this is my experience. This is what I'm really good at. This is where I can throw myself in. I can take over the script. So basically, I'm the script supervisor for this documentary. And in turn, doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Since then, I'm also an associate producer, which is huge. But the script
So
supervision,
awesome.
as he was explaining it to me, I identified the need and said, you know what? I can write the script for you. I'm available right away. Let's make it happen.
You said all the right
Okay.
things.
Yeah.
You rang all the bells. You were so prepared for the meeting because we have been preparing up to it. And
Yeah.
everybody, one of the hot tips is to never practice in your head.
Absolutely.
Why do you always want to practice out loud, David? I think everybody is going to want to know
We
this.
need to practice out loud. I can't tell you enough. When you practice in your head, and I'm in my head a lot. I'm a creative person, so I'm constantly in my head, and it never comes out the way that you imagine it. If you just practice in your head when you go to have that conversation, it just, I mean, it just, you stutter. It doesn't make any sense. And I can't tell you how many imaginary conversations I have in my head that always, not to sound crazy, but, just as a creative person, I am constantly like imagining and storytelling and what if this, what if that. I've come to, just in the last few weeks, I have been practicing out loud more and more and more. And I can't tell you what a night and day difference it is.
It's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
for me, I always sound like a genius in my head.
Yeah.
I'm always like, bing, there's always like a big light bulb above my head, or,
Yeah.
maybe a unicorn runs out of my, maybe a
Right.
rainbow or two. But I sound like a genius in my head. And then when I get into the moment, I'm like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't what I meant to say.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
practicing out loud is one of the key components to being very successful when you go into a meeting. You want to
Yes.
practice out all of the scenarios. And you practice in front of a mirror? Is that how you
Yeah.
do it? Or do you just
I
practice
do
when you're
both.
doing the
I do
dishes?
both. Yeah.
Doing the dishes, vacuuming,
I
you
kind of like
practice
to
out
do
loud.
it, a little like I like both. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever works
Yeah.
for you. I
Yes.
love it. All right. I'm going to
Okay.
say we're done answering that question. We've got a question from Cherish,
Yes.
and she's saying, would you consider yourself a freelancer? Would you
I
consider yourself a freelancer?
I would. Yes. I mean, I've been a freelancer the last 4 years
Yeah.
since I decided to go back to NYU and get my degree. I've been freelancing. And my goal right now, my path that I'm on, I'm in the middle of the journey, is to transition from freelance to, working directly with a company.
Yeah, I think one of the things that happens, though, in entertainment in particular, is
Mm-hmm.
even the people who have an office on the lot,
Mm-hmm.
it is a temporary situation.
Totally. Yeah.
So even people who have got greenlit shows,
Totally.
and Seinfeld, for example, I'm just going
Mm-hmm.
to use him because most people know, or Friends, or any of those kind of shows. They all had offices on the studio as long as the show was running.
Yeah.
But the day that the show is over,
Yeah.
you pack up and you're gone.
Totally.
Unless you're in development and you've got another development deal
Right.
already greenlit, and maybe you've negotiated. So, talking about negotiating,
Yeah.
you've negotiated to keep your office for another 12 months, or however amount of time. But entertainment in particular always feels like freelancing, I
Yeah.
think. So that's just
Absolutely.
kind of the gig there. Okay, done answering that question. I wonder if we should bring Batul. I don't know if you are camera ready, but would you want to come on and ask David your question? Because you've got two questions in a row, and so you can just answer over here. If you want to come on camera, we can invite you on the camera. She's like, oh my gosh, but my hair and my makeup. All right, let's answer one of
Okay.
her questions. If she gets her act together, she can come on. If not, oh, we got a
Oh,
shirt.
okay.
All right, let's invite her on.
Okay.
We're going to try this out, see what happens. Okay. We just invited you, so now you're going to have to do some things. Let's see if you can figure it out. You have to answer some questions. It's going to say, can we use this
Mm-hmm.
camera and use this microphone? And you're going to say yes, 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 yes. Just keep saying yes until you get on camera. Let's see if she gets added. Okay, but let's start answering the question.
Sure.
Because she's got two, so
Okay.
she'll come in hopefully for the second question. So Batul wanted to know, what is the best advice that you can give?
The best advice that I can give.
I think she's talking about your career.
When it comes to your career, you have to make it happen. It really it is nobody cares more about your career than you. I mean, just like you said, SJ, it is you can connect with different people. You can get advice from different people, but when it comes to making it happen, it is going to be you. It's going to be you. So you have to say what you want, when do you want it, make it happen.
And that includes getting help.
Yes, that includes it includes every part, every aspect of it. Every aspect of it.
Because David, had we not met, had we
Yeah.
not started working together, I don't know where you would be in your career today. Where do you think you
I
would be in your career?
Nowhere. I would be applying online, not hearing anything. I wouldn't know who David is. I wouldn't have all these connections at HBO and Netflix. I wouldn't know who ABC 2020 producers are. I wouldn't know anything. My
Wow.
LinkedIn probably wouldn't have been logged on since 2018, maybe, which I
So
think was the
everybody,
last login. It's, yeah.
I think that's a big component, because people think, well, I can do all this by myself. Well, if you
Mm-mm.
could do all this by yourself,
Yeah,
wouldn't you have already done it?
right.
So if you haven't done it yet, whenever and this is just me, whenever I hit a wall over and over and over and over again, I get very frustrated. Actually, I get really angry with myself because I think,
Yeah.
I know I'm smarter than this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get frustrated. And frustration actually is the gift that I get.
Yeah.
I know probably all of you out there are saying, oh my God, I hate to be frustrated. Well, so do I.
Mm.
But when I get frustrated,
Mm.
it is like the closest I am to change,
Yeah.
because I get to this place of, I've got to do something different.
Mm.
I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah.
I've got to find someone who's going to help me, or take a course,
Yeah.
or change even if I make 15, 20 more mistakes and go in wrong directions,
Yeah.
I've got to change something.
Mm.
Because if I keep doing what I'm doing, that's not going to do it. And David, the thing that you changed
Mm.
is, we met.
Absolutely.
We got together. And
Huge.
I
Yeah.
said in our first meeting, I said, you're going to be doing exactly what you want to do
Yeah.
in less than 12 weeks.
Yes.
And in 6 weeks,
Ta-da.
there you, ta-da,
Yeah.
Rona hustle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think everybody, think about that. If you are
Mm.
just sick and tired of being stuck in the same place over and over and over again, ask for help.
Yeah.
Go get help. Okay, I
Yes.
think we're done answering that question. And that actually was my best advice. So
Oh
that
yeah,
wasn't
but
David's best
I
advice.
couldn't agree more though.
Okay. All right. We got another one from Batul. And for some reason, we can't get Batul on.
Okay.
I don't know why. Batul, Batul, let
Maybe
me try you one more time. We're going to try you one more time to invite you on. Here we go, Batul. You can do it. I have faith in you. I have faith. We're going to try it. Okay. Let's see what happens.
okay.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just technology.
It could
I don't
be.
know. All right. Let's take her next question.
Okay.
Ah, look at that.
Yay.
Oh, there we go.
But I can't hear you.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so there's a
Sorry.
microphone. There's a microphone above you, and there's a camera above you, and you just have to click. Can you hear us? No? You can't hear us, Batul? We can see you.
We can see you.
All right. Well, sometimes that's the best we can do. We haven't practiced this, people.
Okay.
What can I say? It's all right. I'm going to pretend that I'm Batul.
Okay.
But we get to look at her.
Okay.
So what's next? What would you tell them in your meeting? This is good. So now you got the meeting.
Yes.
Now you've talked about COVID-19. You've got that connection. What else are you going to talk to them about in your meeting?
In my first meeting, when I'm getting
talk
to know
about
them.
David, because I think that's more about getting that job.
Right. Well, I mean, in talking with a meeting, you know, after getting to know them, it's identifying, you know, what I'm doing, what I'm good at, what my skills are, and offering them. So,
and what are they doing?
And
what are they doing? What are they working on? How can you help?
What are you working on right now? How can I help? It's really identifying that. Yeah.
Remember when we talked about George Clooney?
Yes.
The story about George Clooney. So George Clooney used to, as an actor, he would wait to go last in these cattle calls because he wanted to be the last person to make the biggest impression. So same thing with interviewing. When you interview, always try to go last. Don't go first because they won't remember who you are if they're seeing 20 people.
Right.
But he would go last, and he would say when he, you know, the casting directors would be there, and he would say, "Okay, everybody, I'm sure you're exhausted. Tell me what your problem is.
Yeah.
And how, and I'm going to solve it for you."
Yeah.
And he would just find out what their problem was.
Yeah.
And then he would solve it.
Yeah.
And they would like be turning to each other saying, "Why didn't we see him first?"
Right. Right.
And that's what you're doing, David. You're going into this conversation saying, "Well, tell me what your problems are."
Yes.
And here's what
how
I can offer.
Solve it? Yeah, absolutely.
So awesome. Really, really great. Okay, I think that we're done answering that. And Batul, I'm sorry that you had to fall off, but sometimes that's what happens in Hollywood.
It's technology.
We're not even in Hollywood, but I'm, you know, acting like we are. Okay, but it was still good to see you, Batul. Okay. And now we've got Cherish. Last but not least, we're going to take this last question, and then we're going to ditch out of here. And this question is, would you now say yes to mentoring someone that's trying to do the same work that you are doing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to. You know, just like I'm a very open, personable person. If somebody connected with me on LinkedIn and wrote me a message saying, "Hey, David, it was great connecting with you. Can I pick your brain for a few minutes? Can I talk to you over the phone?" Absolutely, 100%.
We actually had one of our teammates already did that.
Yes.
Maddie.
I did talk to Maddie on FaceTime.
Maddie wants to be a screenwriter. She's one of our comedy content writers.
Which
and she connected with David.
Yes.
Through LinkedIn. I think she was connected with me.
Yeah.
And she saw you. She found you. And then she connected with you. And you guys met. So, you know.
Yeah.
But Maddie may not have had her why and her call to action totally together. It might have been a little bit more informative.
It was informative. It was great, though. I mean, it was one screenwriter to another. You know,
it's awesome. Everybody, you always want to know, though, when you become more in masterful capabilities of really guiding your own career, you will get really good with why you are connecting with people.
Yes.
And your call to action, what to do and when to do it.
Yes.
And that's the driving force. If you
Yeah.
just leave the conversation saying, "Oh, David, it was really nice meeting you. Bye," then that's what the relationship will be. It'll be
Yeah.
a hi, nice to meet you, and goodbye. So,
Mm.
anyway, all right. Well, I think we answered that question.
Yes.
This was really great. David,
Yes.
any other
Thank
last
you.
thoughts for everybody before we go?
Just you're the driver. Identify what you want, when you want it, make it happen. Believe in yourself. You are worth it. Believe in yourself. Go after what you want to do. Be yourself and practice and ask for help. Help. No, really, I can't say it enough. That was an anxiety of mine. I was one of those people that always told me myself I could do everything myself. I'm like, help is, I couldn't have done it without you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. It's been a pleasure. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody. Thanks
Okay.
for coming. Have a super day. Hold on a second. I got to end the broadcast.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'm not going to be here for like a half an hour trying to turn it off. But we're kind of lame that way, everybody. It's okay. We're getting lots of goodbyes. Thanks, everybody. Have a super
Okay.
day. Bye.